All right, is anyone out there violating HIPAA regulations? I'm not sure if the medical records of Chrisean and her child that seem to be circulating are accurate. All of this is alleged, but I'll only discuss what I know. Allegedly, perhaps, accordingly. It states that the infant has fetal alcohol syndrome and the syndrome of neonatal abstinence. Neonatal abstinence syndrome is essentially when a baby stops using opioids or other drugs, but in this case, they are thinking of either cocaine or opioids. Additionally, it is said that he has spasticity, a neurological condition of some kind that hinders limb movement in both adults and infants. In addition, he has CVI and seizure disorder. Cortical visual impairment, or CVI, simply indicates that the area of the brain responsible for controlling his vision has been affected. He is blind, I guess. I've heard this a lot, but I didn't think it was true. But my goodness, additionally, it states that he ought to receive palliative treatment. I work in hospice care now, and many people think hospice and palliative care are the same thing, but they're not. Palliative care is more concerned with, say, extending the child's life or individual in general. However, he has a very critical medical condition, and she must be caring for him. Thus, in this instance, he should be on palliative care. As a mother, how can you be aware of these diagnoses or any other facts about your son and still be of no assistance to him? Maintain the same way of life you had prior to having him. Whether you become a father or a mother, yet mothers are being discussed here. Your life changes when you become a mother. You must adjust and tweak to ensure that you are placing your child above yourself, particularly if they suffer from the same severe health conditions as Junior. Horrible. She is pitiful. However, these issues are all very serious. I am at a loss for words. I'm repulsed by everybody. Based on the terminology used and other details, the records seem to have been written by a medical professional. All right. I do think there are medical records for someone, okay. Now, the one thing about it that worries me a little is that it states that the mother admits to doing drugs throughout pregnancy and lists some of the medications she used. Simply said, I don't think Khan would ever acknowledge that. According to reports, Khan Jr.'s medical data were compromised. It claims that he received a variety of things and that she was being careless. I'm not sure if this is true. My problem is that she would have had to face the repercussions if the physicians had tested the newborns after they were born and discovered that she was abusing drugs or whatever. Is everything true? However, because of the HIPAA regulations, the person who leaked it is going to be charged with some significant offenses. Why would you guys release that in the first place? It appears that Chrisean Rock and Jr.'s birth certificate, which listed all of his medical conditions, was leaked. Alcohol fetal syndrome is one of the problems. Another one that deals with his pulmonary system, which deals with his lungs, and another that deals with his ophthalmology, which deals with his vision. This is what I will tell you all. Fake news is prevalent at the moment. I'm going to be skeptical of this, despite the fact that Blueface was tagged by the poster. And Chrisean within it. It has also been demonstrated that she did not take any prenatal supplements during her pregnancy. You know, after your labor, there are a lot of tests that are conducted after you give birth, don't you? Therefore, the mother would have faced some kind of repercussions if the physicians discovered anything that might have contributed to the condition as a result of her neglect. We all know something is happening, but I take this so-called news with a grain of salt because Chrisean experienced no consequences. I'm not sure if the hospital where she gave birth is a famous one for celebs, and they do have a tendency to hide things. Well, but I'm fairly certain and Chrisean inside of it. Additionally, it has been shown that she did not use any prenatal supplements while she was pregnant. You are aware that numerous tests are performed following your delivery, aren't you? Therefore, if the doctors found anything that could have contributed to the problem as a result of her neglect, the mother would have had to deal with some sort of consequences. We all know that something is going on, but since Chrisean suffered no repercussions, I don't believe this so-called news. As celebrities prefer to conceal things, I'm not sure if the hospital where she gave birth is a well-known one. Well, I'm pretty sure. Been removed. As a result, I'm not certain whether the data I provided led to the account being reported, deleted, or what. Now, they posted without holding back in any way. They accused Chrisean, her staff, and even Blueface of lying to the public about the boy's condition, claiming that people tried to give the idea that the child was healthy, while in reality he has been coping with a lot. Additionally, they attacked all those who defended her, saying that the child served as proof. Now, let me explain. I'm not saying any of this is accurate. Again, this is supposed. I am not verifying the veracity of these records, nor do I know how they were obtained, but I can assure you that these charges are rapidly gaining traction. Hospitals are required to report any suspected drug exposure in infants during pregnancy, especially when multiple substances are implicated. However, here's the trick. I didn't know that simply because a report is filed, the baby isn't taken right away. Basically, this is how it normally works. If the newborn tests positive for drugs or alcohol during delivery, the hospital swiftly alerts Child Protective Services. Again, it is necessary. CPS evaluates the situation. Is the baby getting the proper attention? Does the parent have a support system? Is the environment safe? Is the parent seeking treatment or making an effort? They are able to take the child temporarily if there is a significant risk. Okay, a caseworker for check-ins, drug testing, education, parenting, or rehabilitation may be required by the court. If the parent complies and the conditions are met, the child may stay in the family even though there is known drug exposure. Chrisean will therefore be all right if these assertions are accurate, provided that she can show that she is essentially making an effort. Going back to everything mentioned above, this is purportedly the situation. Okay, so we don't know where the... Watch the daily videos on my channel Star Faults. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Please like this video and subscribe so you never miss our daily updates. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay tuned right here on Star Faults for more.